Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my nightly soul share, where I share a piece of my soul with all of you. So tonight we're going to be talking about sleep, which for me is probably one of the biggest and most important topics that I've been excited to talk about. But two things first. One, I have my original son here with me tonight. This is Ozzy, so if you hear him snoring, he's sitting on my lap. I guess he wanted to come join me for the soul share this evening. So we have an audience. And second thing is I had a girlfriend of mine reach out to me about my post today, and I haven't talked to her in a few years since college. And she just had a son recently, and she went through a very similar experience with postpartum depression and found it hard to find other women that are willing to talk about this kind of stuff and relate. And she said it's so nice because she always saw me as somebody that was so confident, always had everything together, always was got it going on. And it makes me so sad to think that. I mean, sad because I do not have it all together and I do not feel like I have it going on, but I totally put that on to the world. I know I do. If you saw me, you would think, man, Diane, she's got her shit together. But I do not. So that's why I'm here sharing every night about my experience postpartum, because for somebody that you would think on the outside looking in that has it all together, has all the things, has all the stuff, it wasn't like that for me. So thanks for reaching out. You know who you are. And I'm looking forward to talking about sleep tonight. So sleep for me, as I mentioned earlier, was really the number one, I think, factor in me developing postpartum depression. So you have a baby, you give birth and you're tired, you're exhausted, you went through this marathon warrior woman labor, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden you're done, you give birth and you're oh, I just want a break, I want to sleep, I just want to take a nap and relax and then wake up and then take care of this baby. Doesn't work like that. The baby's there. You gotta take care of them. Maybe they sleep for a little bit, which is kind of nice. But when they're awake, it's oh my gosh, you start being a mom right away. There's no break. And I feel for me, it was just I never got a great first night's sleep, and I just feel it started compounding. I do think sleep compounds. I'm not a sleep science person, expert or whatever, but for me, I've always been somebody that needed a full night's rest. I've always needed 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep at night before I go to work, before I do anything. Even in college and high school, I don't believe I pulled an all-nighter. Maybe, but no, not more than 5 times. I can't even remember if I did pull an all-nighter. So I'm just not that kind of person to begin with. I can operate on 3 hours of sleep a night. And then all of a sudden I have this baby that is getting up several times at night. And I remember before bedtime, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock at night. I don't even remember now. 10 p.m. we would go to bed. I would, maybe around 6, I would start getting anxious. This deep pit in my stomach would start developing. I'm oh no, it's bedtime. It's starting to get dark. Oh no, what's going to happen? And I started going into this spiral about what's it going to look like tonight? Am I going to sleep? How many times is he going to get up? Do we think we're going to get a good stretch? Or is it just going to be 2-hour stretches? Do we think we'll get a 4-hour stretch like we did last night? I don't know. It was all the things. And I could not calm down. I had so much anxiety going to bed that it was hard to get to bed. And then before you knew it, I was up for the first feeding and whatever. And I just remember thinking that was so hard on me. I feel I was losing it during the daytime. I really couldn't function successfully. I mean, I was functioning. Clearly, I was getting up, going to mommy and me, putting him in the stroller or walking around doing the things. But I was a shell. It was like a zombie, maybe, pushing the stroller. But I would look good. I would smile at people, whatever. People probably think I'm so happy. I was vacant. There was you knock on the door, there was nobody home, okay? And it was so it felt isolating, feeling I didn't have any sleep. And now I know why they use sleep as a form of torture legitimately, and prisoner of war camps and all these other types of horrible places. Sleep deprivation is legitimately a way to make you lose your mind. I was losing my mind, and I think that started the snowball, a spiral for me into postpartum depression. I also remember feeling in the middle of the night, like, okay, I would get up. My husband would wake up too. He would do like output, I would do input, right? So I'd breastfeed and then he would like change the diapers and stuff. So he would change the diaper first, hand the baby to me. I put him on the breast. You know what he would do? You gotta sleep. He would go back to sleep. Of course, what's he gonna do? Just sit there and like watch me breastfeed for 30 minutes or like 10 minutes on each side? Like I was doing one of those timers. I have a whole nother post on those timers. I have all the fields on the tracking timer apps. So I would sit there with my phone, tracking both sides, and then he'd be like asleep. And I remember feeling angry. Like, this man gets to just sleep and I'm just sitting here and I have to do all this stuff. And then I remember putting my baby down when he'd be done eating. I'm like, okay, I think he's done, right? Like, I don't want to, like, not give him enough and, like, rip him off and put him down. Like, I want to make sure he had a full feeding. Put him down to sleep. And then I would be exhausted and then I couldn't fall back asleep. I remember just sitting there, like, I'm so dead tired and I can't get to sleep. And sometimes it would take me, like, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get down. And then, boom, he'd wake up in another couple hours. And it was just, like, it was this cycle of feeling like I never got a nap. I never got to like a full recharge. And I would try to sleep during the daytime, sleep when the baby sleeps. I would do all of that. I needed a full 8 hours at night. And I remember thinking, like, when is this gonna end? Nobody would tell me when it was gonna end. I felt like I had no control over the whole situation. It's like, oh, someday they're gonna sleep. No mom wants to hear that. I'm sorry. That is horrible. Telling somebody like, at some point it will happen. No. Like, when you're in the throes of it, and you're like me, you're feeling like a hot mess, you wanted to know in 6 days, 7 hours, and 42 minutes, it was going to be over. You know, like, okay, we're going to get another hour, whatever that thing is. Unfortunately, it really does not happen like that. But I will tell you that incrementally, it does get better. And then I remember thinking also too with breastfeeding, I never got a break. It felt like I was controlled by this child that I couldn't control. You can't control when they want to wake up in the middle of the night or like try to feed them more so they sleep longer. It's a bunch of hogwash. But I remember when he would get up and I would be breastfeeding, my husband would be sleeping, I'd be like, great, yeah. I can't take a break if I wanted. Like, I could let him sleep through a feeding and a wake up, you know, he could just stay asleep and I could do the whole thing. But if I want to sleep through one, I can't, right? Because I already had milk supply issues, so I didn't have any pump milk. I didn't have anything in the freezer. Like these milk ladies that have like a hunting freezer size breast milk supply stash. I didn't have that. So I felt like if I don't wake up and I don't feed this baby on the breast, I'm going to have to give him that toxic formula, right? That I was like, you know, indoctrinated to think was like evil. And so I felt like I didn't have a choice. Like I was trapped and I was like disintegrating and it was a horrible feeling. It was like being in a jail or like a prison inside my head. Like physically I could move around and do things, but like internally I was trapped. I remember thinking, I just don't feel good. I can't feel right. I want to feel good. And just something was so not in alignment. It was really, really bad. But I just remember feeling all the feels. And I feel like for me, it made breastfeeding that much harder because I felt like I never got a break from it. There was no, like, breastfeeding became a chore then for me in the middle of the night instead of just some like nice bonding experience. I hated it because of that and feeling like this is what was causing me to not get sleep and not be able to show up for my baby and show up for myself. So it was like this chain reaction that was going on. But I wanted to share all of these thoughts around sleep because I did get several messages from a lot of mamas about it, and I just want to share like a big virtual hug with all of you because I know what it's like. I know when you're just sitting there and you're like, please, when am I gonna get that 8 hours? And what I want to tell you is if you decide that you want to give your baby a formula bottle in the middle of the night or try to pump or something during the day so your husband can give that bottle in the middle of the night so you can get a full night's sleep, do it. Just do it. One night, first off, one night is not going to kill your baby. if they have formula or if they have pump breast milk. They're not going to forget what your nipple is one night. And it's going to make you be so much better, and you'll be so much stronger and so much more empowered and be so much more ready to be the amazing mom that you need to be for your baby. So I'm like giving you 100% permission to do that. I wish somebody had just told me, like, you don't need to do this every single day. It's okay. And you know, if you have to at some point, you know, whatever that magic time is, 3-4 months, I don't know what the experts say, but if you have to sleep train your baby, do it. If that's what you need to do so you can get a full night's sleep, then do it. It's okay. There's a lot of shaming around that too, in addition to like shaming with breastfeeding and shaming with all this stuff. Trust me, mom, we deal with enough shame from all these other things. Do what you gotta do. So I'm just sharing all of that with you this evening. I hope something resonates with somebody that's out there watching. Send me a message if you like this or if you don't. I also got some good messages the other day from my stories asking for topics. So I have some really interesting, fun ones coming up next week. And I look forward to that. And thank you so much. Sharing all the love and gratitude with all of you. Bye.